Hello and welcome to Look North.
Our top story tonight. A mother's frustration that the law still hasn't changed 6 years after her son was killed by a drunk tractor driver. We'll be talking to Leeds' mum, still campaigning for justice for her son's death. Good evening, thanks for joining us. First tonight, a mother from West Yorkshire has spoken of her frustration that changes to drink-drive laws after her son's death still haven't been implemented.
Pamela Whitlam's 11-year-old son Harry was knocked over and killed by a drunken tractor driver 6 years ago. The driver could only be prosecuted under health and safety laws because the incident happened on private land. We'll hear from Pamela, who we met earlier, in a moment. But first, Hannah Gray looks back at the case.
Harry Whitlam was a lively, energetic young boy. This much-loved 11-year-old died 6 years ago. Ever since, his mum has been desperately asking for drink driving laws to be changed.
Harry was knocked down and killed by a tractor driver here at Swithin's Farm near Leeds in 2013. The driver had twice the legal alcohol limit in his system, but he couldn't be prosecuted for drink driving because he was on private land.
The tractor driver, Gary Green, was sentenced to just 16 months at Leeds Crown Court. He was prosecuted under health and safety legislation rather than road traffic law. The Whitlam family's MP raised this in the Commons in 2017.
Harry Whitlam is dead because of a drink driver, and it shames us all that he cannot be prosecuted because of a loophole in the law.
But 2 years have passed since that speech, and the drink drive law remains the same.
It's really frustrating. Harry passed away in 2013 and we've been fighting for this change in the law for pretty much ever since. The last 2 years have been particularly quiet and that seems to have been since Brexit was announced, and we're really hopeful that as of December, when we have a new government in place, that government will really tackle drink drive laws.
Harry's family say they owe it to his memory to keep fighting for a change to the drink drive law. Hannah Gray, BBC Look North, Leeds.
Pamela, thanks for joining us on Look North. You've been campaigning 6 years now. How frustrating is it that nothing's happened so far?
Well, since we started, things seem to move along quite nicely. We were invited in 2017 to go meet the Transport Minister after a debate that Alex Shelbrooke had in Parliament. We were invited to Westminster and we spoke to the Transport Minister about these changes in the law. And we wrote to all the MPs and got fantastic response and support from those towards what we're doing. But suddenly, later on in 2017, things seemed to halt and come to I wouldn't say a stop, but a slow down.
And is that down in part, do you think, to the Brexit situation?
I think hugely it's down to Brexit. Yeah. It seems to have taken over everything that's going on at the moment. And it's just, it's put us on the back boiler. And we're raring to go. We're waiting to get on with things, but at the moment Brexit's taking priority over everything in Parliament, that issues like ours aren't getting looked into just yet.
So let's talk about the law that you want to change. Do you think there's a difference between somebody driving farm machinery on farmland and someone reversing their car into the garage on their drive after they've had a couple of drinks?
No, I don't think there's any difference at all. To be honest, I just don't think anybody should be behind the wheel of a vehicle when they've had a drink, whether they're on private land, public highway or anywhere. I just think it's irresponsible and that people shouldn't really do it. You know, you don't know whether it's a young child, it could be your own child that's on that driveway. And if your mind's not fully aware of what you're doing at any time, God forbid what the consequences to that might be.
And clearly you don't want anybody else to have to go through what you've gone through. Just tell us a bit about Harry. What was he like?
He was certainly fun. He was mischievous. He was fun. He was Harry. You know, he was unique. He was different. He was lovable. He was playful. He had his moments. He was a typical little boy, and he's just missed so much by us all.
How much of a toll has all of this and the campaigning taken on you?
It's been difficult. It's been really difficult because there's nothing I'd like more than to... It's like a legacy. It's like a legacy in Harry's name, and we'd love to be able to progress make these changes. I'm not 100% what those changes will be or whether ours will actually be included. But changes I know will be made because it's changes that Parliament will be looking into making.
And I know you wanted to make a quick appeal, didn't you?
Well, basically, we're coming to that time of year. We're near Christmas, and the drink driving figures tend to go up more at Christmas than any other time of year. And I'd just like to appeal to everybody. I know that cars are a convenience. They're easy to get into and just to go and do. But please think about that, you know, what's going to happen if you do that. That convenience can end up being a life sentence. It can be a regret for life. Just think before you drink, before you drive.
Pamela, thank you.
Thank you.
Well, we asked the Department for Transport to respond to Pamela's campaign, but they've been unable to provide a statement today.